Merry Christmas. Today is December 25th, 2024. I'll be breaking down everything you need to know in the headlines, including the latest Bitcoin technical analysis, Christmas pump, just in time. We'll also be discussing breaking news of Russia being free to use Bitcoin in foreign trade, according to their very own finance minister. This is pretty big news. We'll also be discussing BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF sees record outflow as funds bleed $1.5 billion in the past 4 days. We'll also be discussing a little-known Canadian crypto firm, Matador, adds Bitcoin to the books, as well as MicroStrategy calls shareholders meeting to fund more Bitcoin purchases and boost its Bitcoin 2121 plan. We'll also be discussing Crypto Quant CEO says using strategic Bitcoin reserve to offset the U.S. debt is feasible and calls the approach practical. And speaking of that, U.S. Bitcoin reserve can slash the national debt by 35% by 2049, according to asset management giant VanEck, sending the Bitcoin price parabolic to $42.3 million per coin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. If you're new to the stream, important to smash the likes, go ahead, subscribe, then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, including holidays such as Christmas Day. Today is pod episode 1859. I'm your host, JV. Again, it's Christmas, December 25th of 2024. 6 days left to put a bow on the 2024 year before we enter the dragging of 2025. So you already know. But anyways, fam, let's kick it off with our market watch we do each and every day. As you can see on the screen. Oh, we're back above 99 G's, baby. ETH is correcting, BNB in the green, Tron in the green, and Sol in the green. I ain't talking about my uncle Sol either. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. I'm sorry. First, let's go coin market cap. The current market cap is 128 billion. Let me make sure I'm looking at it. Let me get a refresh. That don't sound right. It's 3.43 trillion. I guess I read out the volume prematurely there for the past 24 hours. The Bitcoin market cap is fast approaching 2 trillion at 1.958. And 117 billion worth of volume. We have 56.9% Bitcoin dominance. Ether dominance still at 12.2%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got Move, we got BGB, and we got GT. Which alts, if any, for the bull? Are you bullish on? Holla. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. As you can see, the majority of the alts are actually in the red. And zooming out on the month, I'd say maybe 65 to 35, red over green. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, today we're 73. I thought we'd boost even higher considering yesterday we had a massive pump, but hey, yesterday is 73, last week in 81, and last month in 82 in Extreme Greed. And checking out the time chain calendar, you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,010 sats, 1010. Look at that, Omen Chandy. That's a beautiful number right there, 1010. Whoa. Anyways, we're on block height, 876,332. And there you have it, crypto bros. And everyone just joining us here. Let's get it. Bitcoin boring through Christmas time, says Lasercat. If you call 100G Bitcoin boring, JV doesn't have any. Exactly. I lost it all. Do you prefer the Bitcoin or the alts? Ask Smart. Is that even a question? Number 11. Yay. Exactly, Ann. Number 11 for the win. 11s and 10s. That's a blackjack, baby. Merry Christmas, fam. Merry Christmas. Good to have you here. Divine Zeus brings the biddy to the fastest chain of the globe, says Laser Cat. Laser Cat stacking a sats. You already know. And again, holiday here today, so Merry Christmas, family. Honored to have you guys here on your special day. Again, anyone who reposts, comments, or quotes the stream gets posted in real time and shouted out. Adam Taylor, thank you. Merry Christmas to you and to the fam as well. I know I'm streaming a little earlier than normal, like an hour earlier, so I appreciate you guys being here. Hence the importance of having notifications turned on, family. But anyways, keep comments flowing. There's a live and interactive stream. Already 400 people here. Merry Christmas. I'm going to share all the relevant headlines you need to know. But first, let's dive into today's technical analysis, aka astrology for the broskies. And we'll pull up some of the live charts. Bitcoin analysts eye recovery to 105, but ETF flows are stagnant. That's right. Bitcoin analysts are eyeing an imminent Bitcoin recovery above 100 Gs. We're less than 1,000 away at the time of the live stream, despite the lack of institutional buying power due to the holidays. Well, I think they're also closed on the holidays. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's traditional legacy system for you. Bitcoin's price has been trading under the psychological $100,000 mark since December 19th, currently down 10% from the all-time high, which is 108.3 recorded on, according to, I believe it was Coinbase. We saw that price action when we did our pump watch. Still, the Bitcoin price may experience a correction and exceed 105 once the liquidity returns after Christmas, according to Ryan Lee over at BitGet. He says Bitcoin's current downtrend is an organic symptom of the holiday illiquidity. Post-Christmas market activity typically picks up again, with the funds expected to actively position for the sectors that might benefit from Trump's upcoming inauguration, Jan 20th. The expected trading range for Bitcoin this week is 94 to 105, so we're roughly 6 Gs shy of that target. The analyst's prediction comes nearly a month ahead of the Trump presidential inauguration on January 20th, which is considered a positive event for crypto regulation in the U.S. and in overall economic policy leading up to 2028. And while Bitcoin's expected to recapture six-figure price tag, its current price action remains limited by the slump of the U.S. Bitcoin ETFs. Recently, they've had a lot of outflows. I'll actually dive deeper into this in the latest from iBit, which is the BlackRock ETF. But what I actually want to share with you now is pull up some of the live charts, and we'll take a look at where we're currently at live and in the flesh. This is brought to you via TradingView, via Coinbase. As you can see, we're back above 99,000. I got 99 problems. Bitcoin ain't one. Hit me. And you can see there's a bullish pennant formation sensation. We do have a target sitting at 107 on the 1 hour chart. So 107 in play. And zooming out, we'll check out the 4 hour. 4 hour says also a rising wedge, also a very bullish target of 107, similar to the 1 hour. Zooming out from the 4 hour, check out the daily. You're going to see a massive green candle printed yesterday. We're already printing another green candle here today. The day is still young. Merry Christmas. I'm rocking the young jersey, ironic enough. Number 11 for the win, 11-11, 11-10. That's a blackjack, baby. Rising wedge. Rising wedgies, we welcome those types of wedgies. And you already know. Zooming out from the daily, we take a quick look at the weekly. And the weekly says, bullish JV, bullish Nippinator, bullish Santa, and there's a cup and handle target of 124. Will we likely still hit this target before the end of the year? Hey, typically year of the halving, final week of the year is bullish. I think we get the next leg up. Will we hit 124? There's no telling, Janet Yellen. Your guess is as good as mine, but anything's possible, so keep that in mind. And zooming out from the weekly, we'll scope out the monthly. As you can see, we had a lot of green bullish momentum this year. Only a few corrective red candles for the monthly, and last month was our biggest green monthly close of all time. Bitcoin price action went from the 60 range to 108 where we're at, and we're starting to print another green here in December. But let me know how you feel. We'll likely wrap up the rest of the year. Again, there's only 6 days left until 2025. Next story, we got done with the TA. This was actually the most trending headline on crypto Twitter today. I guess we can now reference as Crypto X, but nonetheless, big news coming out of Russia. The headline here reads, Russia is free to use Bitcoin in foreign trade. And that's according to their own finance minister. That's right. Russia has been actively experimenting with digital financial assets and foreign trade in line with the country's legislation. According to the senior government official, Russian finance minister Anton discussed the U.S. dollar alternatives for international trade in an interview on the state own news channel, Russia 24. And that was as of today. So this is breaking news. He said the Russian government has passed legislation authorizing foreign trades in DFAs and Bitcoin. And according to the minister, such foreign trade transactions have already been in use. And Russia plans to develop and scale that further. In the interview, he said, in the present circumstances, implementing the DFAs and foreign trade as an alternative to the US dollar is quite understandable. And it enables the use of modern infrastructure. It's an innovation in the global settlement system. That is the future. Preach. He also said Russia is free to use digital financial assets, including the biddy, in foreign trade, in line with the experimental legal regime, which came into force September of 2024. He also shared we can pay for the delivery of goods with digital financial assets. It is also possible to use Bitcoin, which we mined here in the Russian Federation within the experimental regime. The finance minister mentioned that the Russia legalizing mining earlier in the year, that is why transactions are going. We say they need to be developed and expanded, and I am sure that the next year it'll become a reality. His latest remarks on the FTAs and Bitcoin come a few weeks after finance minister urged the public to stay away from crypto investments back in November. Quoting them here, this was from November 6th. Some people see crypto as a source of quick money. I don't recommend it as a means of investment. Let's not get it twisted. A lot of crypto is a means for quick money. A great example was the Haktua coin launch meme scam. Within 24 hours, it went from $500 million market cap to virtually nothing, and everyone got rugged and lost their money. But Bitcoin is different. So you got to keep that in mind. You already know the FUD out there. But definitely not today. There's plenty of other ways to invest and make good money. Yeah, it's called hodling, and dollar cost average is the biddy. But at the time of the warning, Bitcoin was hitting all-time highs above 76, heading towards the historic milestone. Notice they were fudding it during like the biggest ramp-up parabolic rally of the year. That's crazy how that is, but I don't think it's a coincidence. I think governments know and they try to suppress the prices, but they can only suppress it so much. And I think the game theory is in play and everyone wants to buy the biddy on the low. Think about it this way. Who's incentivized to buy Bitcoin at a lower dollar amount? All the whales, BlackRock, Fidelity, MicroStrategy, ARK Invest, you name it. Nation states, but Russia officially recognized Bitcoin as a digital financial asset as part of the bill on digital financial assets back in 2021, providing DFAs with the legal status. The law banned their use as a payment within the country, but it looks like everything has turned 180. Next story of the day. Here's the latest with the ETFs and BlackRock, IBIT. Check it. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF saw its largest ever single day outflow as the Bitcoin funds notched a fourth straight trading day of outflows, totaling more than $1.5 billion. BlackRock's IBIT hit $188 million in outflows yesterday, Christmas Eve, surpassing the previous record of $72 million set December 20th. All 12 United States spot Bitcoin ETFs saw the total outflows hit $338 million Christmas Eve, and since the 19th, the funds have seen joint net outflows of $1.5 billion. The Fidelity, Wise, Origin Bitcoin Fund, and ARK21 shares Bitcoin ETF also saw respective Christmas Eve outflows of $83 million and $75 million, while the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF was the only one to see an inflow, hitting $8.5 million. Meanwhile, the Ether ETFs experienced 2 consecutive days of inflows leading into Christmas. U.S. spot Ether ETFs continue their momentum with the second day of inflows. Christmas Eve adding $53 million after $130 million of inflows the day prior, December 23rd. Now launched in July, the Ether funds had a slow start compared to the strong early momentum of that of the Bitcoin ETFs, which we saw back when they launched January 11th. And since late November, the Ether ETFs have gained traction, having seen an 18-day inflow streak that was just recently broken on December 18th. Bitcoin's currently trading at 99,000. At the time of this live stream, we've corrected all the way down to 92. So we're having a nice recovery, looking to retest 100,000 any moment. Net assets in US Bitcoin ETFs surpassed the gold funds for the first time December 16th, according to K33 Research. And let that one sink in because the gold ETFs have been around for almost 2 decades, I think 19 years. The Bitcoin ETF just launched this year and already blew past it. It's mind-boggling. The most successful ETF of all time. And December 16th, the U.S. Bitcoin funds collectively broke $129 billion in assets under management. Damn. So literally in 11 months, $129 billion. That's unheard of. Surpassing U.S. gold ETFs, which held just shy of that figure, according to K33 Research. The assets under management figure includes spot Bitcoin ETFs, as well as the ETFs that track the Bitcoin performance using financial derivatives, such as futures, according to the Bloomberg analyst Eric Balchun as. Now let's discuss a little-known Canadian crypto firm Matador adds the biddy to the books. Let's go. Canadian real-world asset tokenization firm Matador Tech has become the latest company to incorporate the biddy into the treasury. Bitcoin for the treasury is a win. The firm said December 23rd that the board of directors unanimously approved adding Bitcoin and US dollar denominated assets to the balance sheet. as part of what it called the long-term capital preservation strategy. Matador said it had identified risks associated with the current treasury, primarily denominated in the Canadian dollars. Quoting them here, Canada's reliance on oil exports and its rising national debt raises concerns about potential devaluation and loss of purchasing power of Canadian demonetized or denominated assets. Matador said it plans to front-load an initial allocation of $4.5 million into the biddy in December and will continue to explore additional purchases at the board level via measured buying programs. It also plans to convert the majority of its cash balance sheet from Canadian dollars to U.S. dollars. Sonny Ray, the president of Matador, added the following. Matador's board and management believe in using the biddy to future-proof our treasury. This step also supports our mission to explore using biddy as a platform for our gold-based products. The company said that a Bitcoin treasury would support the development of the launch of the digital gold platform next year. The platform is a blockchain-based system that will enable the users to buy, trade, and store tokenized gold backed by physical reserves. Here's their product roadmap. You can see on your screen. In their latest slew of the companies, they have added Bitcoin to their balance sheet as a strategic reserve. In recent months, as we announced here in the stream, December 20th, biopharmaceutical company Quantum Biopharma disclosed the purchase of $1 million worth of Bitcoin for their treasury. And in late November, Canadian wellness firm Jiva Tech approved the plan to add $1 million to the Bitcoin as a treasury as well, and did a video sharing platform Rumble, which approved a strategy of allocating up to $20 million of the company's excess cash reserves into the Bitcoin. To the MicroStrategy, their update on the 2121 plan and continuing to buy Bitcoin. And then we'll dive into a very bullish VanEck prediction of $42 million Bitcoin price. And then we'll tap into some live Q&A. And we're only 800 away from recapturing 100 G's here on Christmas Day. So we'll flip it into a pump watch and celebrate together. So here we go. Next headline. MicroStrategy calls the shareholders meeting to fund more Bitcoin purchases. You damn right. It's going up forever, Laura. Software company MicroStrategy has called a special shareholders meeting to expand its equity issuance plan and purchase more of the Bitcoin. Well, Microsoft done messed up. Just leaves more biddies on the table for the MicroStrategy and Mikey Saylor. And according to the December 23rd proxy filing with the U.S. SEC, the company is seeking permission. We need permission to increase the number of authorized shares for both Class A common stock and preferred stock, giving it more flexibility to issue the additional shares as needed. The First Amendment seeks to raise the authorized Class A common stock from 330 million shares to 10.33 billion shares, and while the Second Amendment aims to increase the authorized preferred stock from 5 million shares to over 1 billion shares. And behind the proposals is MicroStrategy's 2121 plan. That's a divine number. Want to know why? 21? It's a 10 and an 11. It's a blackjack, baby. Hit me now. Disclosed in October. A very special month, I would say. The plan outlined the company's goal of purchasing an additional $42 billion worth of Bitcoin over the next 36 months. It involves raising $21 billion through the equity sales and another $21 billion via the fixed income securities. And according to the filing from MicroStrategy, the proposals of 1 and 2 for this special meeting request an increase in the authorized shares of the capital stock of the company to support the further implementation of our 2121 plan and the future market activity more generally, as well as the corporate purposes, if you feel my drift. My spin drift, that is. The company has been acquiring the biddy regularly since 2020 and has intensified their purchasing since the plan was announced. And of course, if you announce the plan and you tell the rest of the world what you're doing, you better accelerate your plan. Game theory in full effect. And during December alone, it bought 42,000 Bitcoin. Just this month, in the past 3 weeks, that's over $4 billion worth of the biddy. And at the end of October, MicroStrategy reported the Bitcoin yield was 17.8%, with plans to achieve an annual yield of 6 to 10% between 2025 and 2027. And since then, it reportedly raised $13 billion through the stock issuance and $3 billion through the convertible bond offerings. We have been executing our 2121 plan significantly faster than originally anticipated. And as of December 22nd, the company and subsidiaries collectively owned about 444,262 biddies worth around $43.5 billion. The coins were acquired for a total of $27 billion, resulting in an average purchase price of 62 G's. So they're up almost 100%. Not too shabby, man. And you can see the MicroStrategy tracker now holding 444,000 Bitcoin. This is a typo on the website. They always mess things up. So thank God you guys got me here. Imagine if they really did own 444 million Bitcoin. We'd all be shit out of luck. Something would be wrong with that code. The company's stock on the NASDAQ's up 422%. Speaking of 420. Happy 420, broskies. Largely attributed to the Bitcoin strategy. The date of the special shareholder meeting was not made public, and in the next earnings report, scheduled February 2nd of 2025. And just like that, there you go, crypto bros. Now for our feature story of the day. Crypto Quant CEO says using strategic Bitcoin reserve to offset the U.S. debt is feasible and calls the approach practical. Also, U.S. Bitcoin reserve could slash the national debt by up to 35% by the year 2049, according to major asset management giant VanEck. And they say this will increase the Bitcoin price to 42.3 million per coin. As you can see on your screen, 42.3 million. Ultimately, it's going up forever, Laura. But let's first start here. Crypto Quant thinks the National Strategic Bitcoin Reserve could offset the U.S. debt. I think so as well. He shared on X that $790 billion in realized capital inflows have ballooned the Biddy market cap to $2 trillion over the past 15 years. This year alone, $352 billion of inflows have added $1 trillion to the market cap. However, using a pumpable asset like the Biddy to offset the dollar-denominated debt rather than gold or dollars could make gaining creditors' consensus challenging. For Bitcoin to achieve the broader market acceptance, Bitcoin must attain global nationwide authority on par with gold. Establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve could serve as a symbolic first step. Amen. And with 70% of the U.S. debt held domestically, offsetting 36% of it by acquiring 1 million Bitcoin by 2050 becomes feasible if the U.S. government designates Bitcoin as a strategic asset, which becomes the million-dollar question on everyone's mind. Will Trump do what he said he is going to do and make Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset and stack the Biddy for the U.S. Treasury? Holla, let me know. The Crypto Quant CEO adds that 30% of the debt held by the foreign entities might resist that approach, but he argues that the strategy remains practical nonetheless. If the consensus is reached on the Bitcoin status, achieving this is entirely possible. The only risk would be the old whales dumping the Biddy to attack the U.S. However, if governments continue accumulating Biddy until 2050 and it keeps rising the price of the Biddy, I doubt they would actually dump it. That's right. You'd get a situation like Germany, which is probably idiotic, moronic move of the century. They dumped Bitcoin at like 50,000. 2 months later, it's 100, and they lost billions. Let that be an example, Trump. Don't let it happen for the U.S. Now, yeah, we got to stockpile the Biddy. Matthew Sigel, the head of the digital asset research over at VanEck, initially outlined how the strategic Bitcoin reserve would offset the U.S. debt, quoting him here. Assume the U.S. Treasury starts buying 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years at a starting price of 200 G's, baby. And assume the U.S. debt grows at 5% versus the last 10 years, 8% compounded annual growth rate, and all of a sudden the Biddy price compounds at 25%. And in such a scenario, the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve would hold assets equivalent to 36% of the debt by 2050. So if the U.S. truly wants to reduce the debt, this is the go-to play. In that scenario, Bitcoin would be 42 million per coin, the same as Michael Saylor's target, coincidentally. And the market cap would be 18% of global financial assets. And ironically, speaking of 42 million, Saylor recently announced that he's purchasing $42 billion worth of Bitcoin for MicroStrategy over the course of the upcoming years. They're looking to control 5% of the circulating supply, already control over 2%. Mind-boggling, eh? But even at a 15% compound annual rate growth, the Bitcoin stash would still be quite valuable. And as a little bonus, let me dive a little deeper into the VanEck prediction, because to me, that sounds fantastical. 42.3 million per Biddy. Now, this is right in alignment with Senator Cynthia Lummis' proposal, which she shared on stage right after Trump spoke in Nashville, and that was creating a strategic stockpile of the Bitcoin of 1 million. And I believe the bill has already been written. It's just a matter of Trump signing it. Hopefully he does it day one and don't waste no time when he hits office here in the U.S. and he fires Gensler and says, go hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. But anyways, VanEck says the reserve could represent an estimated 35% of the national debt by 2049, offsetting $42 trillion of liabilities. And Matthew Sigel over there at VanEck also, made some very bullish predictions, which is they came up with the price rising to 42.3 million per coin by the year 2049. Let me know if you can potentially foresee that. And shout out to the Strike founder, Jack Mahlers, and all my Bitcoin ballers. You know how we do. But anyways, fam, there you have it. That's why I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts surrounding VanEck's $42 million Bitcoin price. And when do you think that will become a reality? Holla at your boy, and welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Over 1,300 people here. Merry Christmas. Good to have you guys here with us. Cheers. Thanks to those who are doing the work today. Hopefully still hanging with the friends and the fam. Exactly. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep the stream running today on X, Rumble, and YouTube. We're going to play a brand new track, and we're going to switch it over to the Pump Watch.